What's going on, guys? It's Lewis here with Crypto Elite, and in today's video I'm going to be going over a ton of different alts and charting them out. Now, just the other day I asked everyone in my Discord group, let me know what coins you want me to chart in my next video, and I got a whole bunch of options. And then I also asked on Twitter, what coins are you interested in? I will chart them in my next video and post the charts underneath this tweet, and I got a bunch of different coins, so I'm going to be going through as many as I can. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I do believe that alts will see significant gains within the next 3 weeks, and I don't actually think that catching the bottom is necessarily what it's not easy. I'll tell you that much. I'll say that catching the bottom on alts isn't very easy. And the thing why I want to get into alts, especially now, is because look at what happened with Bitcoin. Obviously, we already know, but what happened with Bitcoin is we had literally 3 months. So we had 12 weeks of price action. Each of these bars represent 1 week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. So 13 if you're counting all the way from here to here. And then in 1 week, and actually it was 5 days, we totally just demolished the last 3 months of price action. So what happens is with alts, and let me see, there is definitely something. There has to be an alt that is similar to this, or like understand. Yeah, here's one. All right, so here's one. This is VRA. This one that I'm going to be doing, right? So look at VRA. In this 1 week right here, this weekly candle, it went up 113%, and that was as long as, let's see, from here to here, 238 days. So in 1 week, it actually outperformed the last 238 days of price action. So it's like, if you miss this 1 week, you're done, And so let's go down to the daily chart just for an example. What we're saying is that this 1 week right here is you have to get in before that. So even if I get in, let's say I get in here, right? Let's say I get in here, and I have to endure a long time. I have to endure a long time of downside. So 64 days, that's 2 months. Yeah, pretty much 2.5 months, 65, 69 days, something like that, right? Of me being underwater. Well, personally, I'm okay with that, and that's why I have my investment account, my longer-term investment account, where I'm just like buying, and I'm still underwater on a lot of these coins because this has not happened again yet. I mean, just look at this coin in particular. Let's say I got in when the price came back down, and I saw that the price came back down to this zone, and so I wanted to get in because this was a really nice zone back there. And so let's say that I got in right here. Well, yeah, okay, so I've been down, hypothetically speaking, on this. If I would have done that, I would have been down for the last 3 months, 90 days, right? Eventually, though, there will be a day or a week like this. And what's going to happen is, even if let's say it comes down even more, let's say it goes like this and it jumps up another 123%, and it's probably going to go higher than that, and I got in back here. Well, that's a gain of 50%, just about 50%, and that would be in under a year. Do you know how many people want 50% gains in under a year? Let's say it takes 6 months, because this was 3 months. Let's say it takes another 3 months. It takes 6 months to get 50% on something. That's like people strive for 12% per year. That's what people strive for. Some other people strive for 15% per year. So if you could get 50% in 6 months, I mean, that's pretty crazy. So yeah, I don't know. That's just why I want to go over all of these alts, and we have a lot to go through. These are all of the ones that I want to try to get through. I have my USD pairs, and I have the Bitcoin pairs. So let's go through Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we'll go through some of the other ones. Okay, and just before I actually get into all of the different altcoins and of course Bitcoin and Ethereum first, I do just want to go through why Bitcoin was actually super bullish. So if at $25,000 right here. And so if you don't want to see this, you could look at the timestamps. I do have timestamps in the description, so you could check those out and go to your coin, whichever one you want to look at. But yeah, I do want to explain this because this is very educational. Okay, so let's start off on Bitcoin. On Bitcoin, this is what I see. This is what I said a long time ago, back in March of 2023, so a few months ago. I said when we came all the way up here, I was like, I'm super bearish right here because this was the low of this range, right? And then we did, fall from here just a little bit, but we ended up consolidating and then pushing up higher. Once we pushed up higher and we closed up here, I said, okay, we're above this range low right now. We're back into this range between basically 29K and 32K. So now that we're back up here, I don't want us to fall back below this line, basically 29K. And I'll bring it down a little bit. I'll say I really don't want us to fall below, 28.7. And I was like, we're good. Okay, we're still good. And then boom, this happened. And I was like, all right, now I'm bearish. Now I have a bearish bias and I want to look for shorts because we're back below this range, this huge, very, very pivotal moment, and this was just a deviation. So now it's like, okay, I want to look for shorts, which means you either, immediately short right here or you wait until we come back into this bearish breaker and then, it falls down. So shorted right here. Okay. Then all the way we come down, we're going lower, all that good stuff, right? We end up bouncing off of the 38.2. And this is going to be super freaking annoying, but I have to mention this. After I did my hindsight analysis, and I looked back yesterday on the charts, I can't believe how I missed this because there were 9 good reasons to be bullish as hell on Bitcoin when it was at $25,000. So basically we had, like I just mentioned, this range right here, and I said, we came into it and then we fell back below it, so then I want to look to be bearish. Well, we had this range, but also we had this range, this big range right here. This was the top, double top right there. This was the bottom. This was the other bottom. So basically we had one range right here. We had another range right here, a huge range. We had a deviation below it and then back into it, which just like what I mentioned up here, once we got back into this range, I became bullish. Well, once we got back into this range, at 19,000, then I'm like, oh, now we have to be bullish again. And, you target the top of the range because that's how I trade is if I see a deviation underneath a really big range and then I see a move back into it, then I long and I target the top of the range, which you'll see we have on Link later on in this video. The same thing just happened. So Link is actually a really good play right now. But regardless, when I'm talking about Bitcoin is that eventually we did come back up and then when we came back down, this was a huge range. And when we break through a huge range after tapping the resistance a few times and break through it, what you want to look for is what's known as the last kiss. And that is a pattern of coming back down to the range high and tapping it and having it form as a support before moving up. So that's what happened. We came all the way down and we tapped it and we gave it, quote unquote, the last kiss. And that is super bullish because we gave you the last kiss of this huge, range, this huge box, and that created the last kiss setup. It also retouched the major support / resistance zone, which was obviously right here, major resistance, support. So it retouched this. So that's super bullish. Plus there was the weekly bullish order block. So if we go to the weekly time frame, we can look at this and say this right here was a move up followed by a move down that broke the market structure right there. And then we had a big move up. So this right here is what's known as a bullish breaker because when the price comes up, and it goes, or the price moves up through an area where it should have technically been resisted from, like, and it should have been resistance somewhere in here, but it obviously it wasn't, because it just, you know, shot right up. Once that actually closes up here, once that happens, then when it comes back down to that area where it should have been rejected from, but it wasn't, now that becomes a really good area to be support and to actually have a lot of buying pressure within this area. And so it came down and it tapped that as well. So that was the bullish breaker and the weekly bullish breaker, which is really good. And then it popped up from there. So that was really good. Plus, there was this, obviously, on the daily time frame, it's easier to see, the major diagonal support. I had it right here. I had it like this, where this was on the wick, and I was really, I was waiting just a couple $100 more, because just like Ethereum had the same exact setup, except Ethereum came down to the 200 day moving average, and I said, okay, well, this is perfect, 200 day moving average, big major diagonal support. And that's why I actually ended up getting into Ethereum, but Bitcoin wasn't there yet, but it did, you know, if you would have just counted from the bodies instead of the wicks, it did actually hit the bodies as well. Plus this right here, the down candle followed by the up candles, that's pretty much like a bullish morning star formation, which is fairly bullish right here on the support, which is, you know, obviously even more bullish. Then there was the daily RSI right here, which was, if I bring this up, this right here looks to be 28.1, and this right here, this could be a little bit high. This is like a little bit higher, 28.4, you could say, or 28.2, something like that. It's just a little bit higher. So this was a bullish divergence on the RSI, like exactly what you want to see. And then once this happened, once this candle actually happened, then it was pretty much confirmed that this was a bullish divergence. And not only that, but we had the 38.2 on the Fibonacci, which I pointed out earlier. And then obviously we got the insanely bullish news from BlackRock. So there were so many freaking reasons to get bullish right here. And I didn't mention it. I didn't mention it. What I mentioned in my last update was Ethereum was bullish as hell right here. And so I, you know, went into Ethereum and I closed out all my shorts. And I said that if Ethereum is going to go up, then Bitcoin is definitely not going to go down. So that's what I did. I went into Ethereum, but obviously I wish I went into Bitcoin at this point, because Bitcoin outperformed Ethereum. However, at this now Ethereum is down, and it's coming down, and it's right below the major supports. So it's in this big liquidity zone, which is what I like to see for Ethereum. So we have that. I don't like how the RSI looks, but you know, we're getting really close to this zone right here, which is where I really want to stack up on Ethereum, because this is the major, you know, major support line, diagonal support line, plus the major horizontal support line. So of course, if it does get down here, I want to stack up, but given the situation, I'm not sure that we'll even get down here. It would be nice if we do, but given the situation, I obviously am stacking up right here on Ethereum, because typically when we have a move break below a market structure, we do end up getting a bounce, because it happens to be like a fake breakdown. And so I'm loading up a little bit of Ethereum right here. Of course, if we do get back up above here, that would be really good. I'm just being risky and taking my chances, because I think that Ethereum USD is going to keep on going up anyway. So, you know, maybe I'll lose out on it against Bitcoin for now, but eventually I do think that Ethereum will overtake Bitcoin, and I do think that Ethereum against Bitcoin will be back above this level. So as long as it goes back above this level eventually, then I'll be in profit, and on both USD and in Bitcoin, and that's what I want. Okay, so now that we have Ethereum and Bitcoin out of the way, along with some of the other stuff, let's go into the actual charts. So obviously I'm going to start off with Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at the yearly high right now for 2023. It is seriously all the way up 92% since January 1st, and that's pretty darn good if you ask me. So just like how I said previously before when it came here, I did not want it to come back down beforehand or else I would be super bearish. I'm in the same camp. I think that we're in this range once again. This is the low, this is the high, just like how this was the low, this was the high. Although we could bring it a little bit higher. And I think that if we drop down below here once again, then my bearish, I'll be more bearish. My bearish bias will return. But right now we're still up here, so I don't think we're going back below $28,700 because yeah, I think we're going to break through this and hit $36,000 next. If you look at the weekly charts, you can see that we are coming in. Sorry. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the RSI right now on the weekly. If this goes higher, which it is, and this is lower, then that's a bearish divergence on the RSI, which I don't really like, but I'm trying to pay more attention to the candlesticks instead of strictly the RSI right now. But regardless, let's say that we do end up coming down. Like I just mentioned, 28,700. That's the move. And just like how somewhere around here, where was it? Just like here, this was a move up and then it fell down. So this was the up move before the down move that broke the market structure here. When it came back up, it should have gotten rejected. Well, we have that right here. This is the up move before the down move that broke the market structure on the weekly time frame. And then we should have, you know, come up and then rejected somewhere within here and fallen even lower and continued the trend. But we didn't. We jumped above it. So now this bearish order block becomes a bullish breaker, which means that let's say that, you know, we get this bearish divergence on the weekly time frame on the RSI, and we get a SFP somewhere up here. Well, not somewhere up here, like literally like right here, or even more telling right here, and it comes back down. Yeah, this lines up. This area lines up at 28,000. Maybe we come down to 28,000, you know, 550, somewhere around there. We have a wick down here. But if it comes down here, this is absolutely the buy. This is the buy price right here. So I'll put that like this. Like, this is where, if I have any extra cash, this is where I'm going in. Okay, and now going down onto the lower time frames, if well, like I mentioned, if it does come down there, then I want to go in with my free cash. But maybe there's a trade setup that is available on the lower time frames, and there is, which is right here. So this obviously was well, not obviously. This is the daily. This is the daily high, but was this the weekly high? So the weekly, let me just put this in here. Weekly close right there. That's the weekly swing close. So I honestly wouldn't want to get underneath here right now, because not only is it the weekly swing close, but now we have this down move before the up move that broke the market structure, which means that this is a bullish order block. Now, here's the thing. This is a bullish order block, but it is at the major resistance. You know, this is pretty much the biggest resistance that we have right here. Now, the question is, will the news, will the fundamentals, will everything that's happening right now be enough to push us past here? And honestly, I do think that it will be. I think that this move right here is akin to this move. Sorry, what's going on here? This move right here. And where we just totally broke out and we hit, you know, basically the biggest resistance that there was right here. This was the biggest resistance. What did it do? It effed around there for, how long is this? A week? This is 7 days. Yeah, this is a full week. It messed around over here, putting in these bearish, you know, these bearish candles, thinking, oh, we're going to go lower, and it stopped all of the traders out. All the traders got stopped out because they thought, okay, we're going to go lower now. But the people who aped in, because they thought that they knew that this right here was such an intense move, they ended up actually winning. until this happened, this big down trend happened. But I think that this is the same thing. This is such an intense move that we're back up at the highs. So personally, I think that what is going to happen will be something very, very like similar to this. I think maybe we'll, you know, fuck around like this, maybe have like one wick down and then, you know, move up to 36K. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so now that we're done with Bitcoin, let's go on to Ethereum. But before we do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Please like this video. I'm doing this for free. I don't even have any sponsorships. I literally have nothing. So I'm literally just doing this, and I would really appreciate it if you like this video. It's absolutely free to you to like it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. That would be awesome. I really want to get those subscribers up. And if you can, just leave a comment, just, you know, saying good job or thanks, or put your coin that you want to be actually plotted out in the comments below. Or if you want me to do a deep dive on a coin, then like an altcoin or something, and go into the fundamentals and talk about what the use case and the actual founders and just like what I think of it, then drop that in the comments as well. And I'll put that on a list for a new series that I want to make, where I'll just go in and look at the fundamentals. Maybe I'll call it Fundamental Friday or something like that, and I'll go into the fundamentals of different coins. So if you want something like that, leave it in the comments. That would be awesome. And of course, be sure to like and subscribe. That would mean the world. Thank you so much. So now let's go on to Ethereum. So looking at Ethereum, let's start off on the weekly chart. And I'm going to take a look at this real quick on my own and then come back so that I don't, you know, waste your guys' time and you'll have a fresh, good chart. Okay, so this is what I saw for Ethereum. Firstly, the first thing that I noticed was that Ethereum is right here, right? Bitcoin has its new yearly all-time highs already met. This was the high for Bitcoin. It's already up to that high. This was the high right here for Ethereum, and it's not there yet. Firstly, it's not there yet. So I would assume that it's just a laggard and it's going to catch up. And the other thing I'm thinking of is that there's a Bitcoin ETF by BlackRock. Don't you think that they're going to eventually have an Ethereum ETF or come out with an Ethereum ETF? I think that that's logically the next step. First Bitcoin, then Ethereum. I don't know if any other coins are going to have an ETF, but I could totally see an Ethereum ETF. So that's my theory on this, that it's going to continue to go higher. I don't think it's going to, you know, the Ethereum ETF is going to come out anytime soon, but eventually I do think it will. And I do think that when it does come out, it will surge the price up tremendously. So yeah, I think that Ethereum should be 2100 right now. I don't know why it's all the way down here. That's number one. Number two is that we're back in, is that the boxes that I drew for Bitcoin, like, let me go back to Bitcoin, like this was a pretty obviously a clear range, you know, like clear top, clear bottom. Same thing with this. So this was a very clear range back here, and now we're back in it. For Ethereum, that's not really the case. There's a clear bottom, but as far as where the top of this range goes, it's not very clear, literally, like at all. But this is the best area that I could see where the top, you know, would be, is like somewhere around here. And if you go into the daily chart, it makes it a little bit more like, okay, this was the support, and then this was, you know, the resistance area, resistance zone, all that type of stuff. And once this was a fake out, declared fake out, then, you know, that was super, super bearish. So of course you'd want to, you know, short there. And then once this came up, it sustained it, which was really good. And then it hit this top of the range, which was the top of the range back here, which is where Bitcoin is right now, like I just mentioned. And so, yeah, I'd say like this is a range. Okay. So we're back into this range, and we're at the 50%, but we're still, you know, in the lower 50% of this range. On the weekly time frame, I like this formation. This is basically a morning star formation where we have a big move down and a bullish candle, and normally it's a indecision candle, and then a nice bullish candle after that. So yeah, this is looking pretty bullish on this time frame, on this weekly time frame. it happened at the support. So that makes me believe that we're going to come up to at least 2100 because we have, this is where Bitcoin is and Ethereum's a laggard, and this is a nice bullish formation. Also on the weekly time frame, look at this. The RSI is actually like pretty solid. It's above the 50%. The stochastic is still, for some reason on the weekly, oversold. So is this really the case where it's like, it's so simple? The MACD has its first tick up, so which is what you want to see. So the indicators are bullish on Ethereum on the weekly time frame. Let me just double check for Bitcoin. For Bitcoin, this is getting to be like scary, a little bit scary, but for Ethereum, it's still looking bullish. So I think Bitcoin's probably going to cool down a little bit and just like go sideways and let alts, including Ethereum, catch up. That's what I'm hoping for. So regardless, we have this on the weekly time frame, and now let's look for order blocks, breakers, and stuff like that. So when this happened, the other thing that I noticed, which is super bullish, is that this move right here, big move up followed by a big move down. Actually, okay, this isn't an engulfing candle, but it's very close. So this right here, basically, it on the weekly time frame started right here, and then it came all the way up and then came all the way down and closed right here. So if you take this candle and you draw it out, what does this candle actually look like? Well, let's say it started right here. So this is where it started. It came all the way up and then it came all the way down and closed pretty much exactly where it opened. So it closed a little bit higher than where it opened. So the body looks like that. And then all of this is a wick. So this is what this candlestick looks like on a higher time frame, which is even more, prominent than this time frame. And this obviously is a gravestone doji candle, which is extremely bearish, right? So the fact that we literally came all the way back up here after having this type of candlestick on the weekly chart, to me, that's bullish. That makes me super bullish. So yeah, given everything that's going on, like all bearish bias is out the freaking window. And I think Ethereum is guaranteed to hit 2100 and potentially, even higher. There's all of this blank space up here, all of this just total blank space on the weekly time frame. This right here is the weekly bearish order block because it up move before the down move that just completely wiped out all of these market structures. This market structure, this market structure, this market structure. They were all wiped out literally for all the way back from February. Actually, is this one wiped out too? Yeah, pretty much all the way back until January or to February of January of 2021 was this giant move down. And that took out all of this price action. So this right here is the weekly bearish order block that I'm going to be looking at. And then of course, this is the weekly bearish order block on, the highest candle that took it out. So this seems crazy, but look at look at where this went to, look at the stock market. It's all the way back up here, look at the NASDAQ, look at all of this. So what makes it so crazy to think that Ethereum could come back up here, So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Definitely targeting 2100 right now. I'm long Ethereum and I'm targeting 2100 and then potentially 2400 because this is the low of this bearish order block, but more probably is 3200 because this is the highest point. The only other thing is that if you take the Fibonacci from the top to the bottom and you take a look at this area is the 61.8. So I can't guarantee, but I could say that there's a high probability that we're going to get a rejection from right here. And you know what? I'm going this is like a market update, a big market update thing, video type stuff on this weekly time frame. So I want to go down into the lower time frames and just and just do like the more short-term stuff because this is the checking the charts video and I don't want to do that. I want to do those big term stuff, those longer, higher time frame things on the Monday market update videos. So anyway, going down into the lower time frames, just like Bitcoin, like I mentioned before, we even got this market structure break on the diag along with down, up, down, up, down, up, of course, this one on the horizontal, and then boom, another one. So let's look at the daily time frame. The daily time frame, this right here, maybe if I go down to the 12-hour, it'll be more sense. Well, this area right here was an up move for a down move that broke the market structure, and the price never reached it again. And then when the price did, it sort of just jumped right back above it. So this to me is a bullish breaker, and it has tagged it and moved above it. So I really wouldn't want to see Ethereum back underneath here. I really wouldn't want to see Ethereum back underneath this level, right? Like right around here. So this is obviously a major support resistance zone. If it does come back down, this would be the zone that I would want to look at to long. Do I think it's going to come back down? Not really. No, I think that, let me draw this out so that I have a very clear, understanding. I think maybe it comes down here before shooting up, and my target is up here. That's what I think is going to happen. Optimally, we get something down here, and then we could long. But like I said, I don't think that this is going to happen. Okay, so now let's go into alts. I'm going to start off with HBAR and then just go down from there. So let's look at HBAR on the weekly time frame. What did we see? We saw this down move before the up move that broke this market structure right here. So this was the weekly bullish order block, and we literally came all the way down to it. Well, firstly, this was the weekly bullish order block, right? Also, though, before that even happened, this right here was the up move before the down move that broke the market structure. So you would assume that you would get rejected from right here, but you didn't. So this right here, once we closed above it, became the weekly bullish breaker. And you could see that we did come in and tag it right there on this following week. We tagged it and then shot back up and then shot up. So that was really, really, really good. And then after we shot up back here, we had an entirely new bullish breaker right here, and this was the up move before the down move that broke this market structure, and it should have been a resistance, but we just jumped right above it. So once we came back down here on the weekly, what do you know? We had this huge, very bullish market candle, and then we shot up. So that was really good. And now we shot back down, and so this right here is the first bearish order block, but the other bearish order block that we have is right here. So we are in a bearish order block on the weekly time frame on HBAR. However, with saying that, this is a bullish, obviously everything is super bullish right now, and so I think that we will do something like this, what we did back here, where we shot past up above the bearish order block. This was the bearish order. We shot back above it, and then we retested it and then shot up. That would be really, 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 really bullish. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put an alert in right here. I'm going to say, if we close above here, insta long and target highs. So this is the weekly bearish order block will turn into weekly bullish breaker if we close above of here. Insta long and target highs, if that happens. And I think it will happen. So yeah, this is it. So pretty much I'll get rid of this. Where's my little handy dandy thing right here? If we close up here, let's say we close right here. Okay, I'm going to long right here, hoping that we come down, have a very quick come down, and then come up and target here, and then target up here. That's what I'm gonna be doing for HBAR. Now I do actually also want to go through their through the Bitcoin pairings as well, because I think that that's really important. So if you look at HBAR on the weekly time frame on the Bitcoin pairing, since September of 2021, it's been in a huge downtrend. There was a little nice spike right here in February of this year, but pretty much we've been down only on the Bitcoin charts, and it's down 82% against Bitcoin, or I guess technically from the top, it's down 86% from the top against Bitcoin. And so I want to look at it and say, like, okay, well, is this like are we at the bottom basically of this chart? And maybe we are, maybe we aren't. The RSI looks absolutely horrible. So does the stochastic RSI. So does the MACD. All of this looks, well, actually the MACD ticking up is slightly bullish, but all of this crap looks super bearish just against Bitcoin. So really, we're not seeing anything on the weekly chart except for the fact that we got this indecision candle followed by another indecision candle, and we are close to this previous bottom. We did tap it. So the question is this the bottom, or are we going to come down into this weekly bullish order block? Because that's what I was actually thinking that we were going to do, is that we were going to come down into here, because that was, you know, right below this. So there's probably a lot of liquidity down here for the institutions, and we would probably just tag this and then shoot up from there. That's what I was really thinking, because that would make that would make a triple bottom, and that was it. So on the daily time frame though, against Bitcoin, yeah, we actually maybe tapped this. Let's see, the low of this right here is 155, and this right here was 155 as well. So yeah, we tapped it and then moved up. I just don't really see anything bullish on the HBAR chart against Bitcoin. So if I see this starting to move up, then that would look really nice. Or maybe you could say if this breaks through here, then that could be something. If it creates a market structure, if it breaks through this trend line, that could be something. But right now, as far as I see it against Bitcoin, I don't really see it really any bullish bias at all. This right here is the weekly bearish order block, so we're probably going to hit this. But if it does come up, let's say it comes up here and it closes above the diagonal and the horizontal right there, maybe I could bring this up even more. Yeah, if this closes above here, then that would create a nice market structure break, and then I would want to long the dip and get right here, but probably aim higher, because we're so low, we're so close to the low, you know. So yeah, this is HBAR against Bitcoin. Okay, so next up we have MATIC. Let me get rid of all this stuff. Next up we have MATIC, and MATIC, I honestly am looking at this right now and want to chart a few things out. So we came down, yeah, and we broke below this huge support line, you know, with pretty big volume and everything like that. Broke below it, and I guess you could say, you could say, so we tagged this bullish order block right here, downward for a move that, actually, never mind. This wasn't, I don't count this. So I was actually hoping and thinking that we were going to get pretty much underneath 50 cents, come down into the 40-cent region. That would have been really, really nice. And then I would look for long setups here. Right now on the weekly time frame, I don't really see anything. If we go down to a lower time frame chart though, what can I see? Well, obviously we have this huge resistance right here, and within this huge resistance, we have this bearish order block right there. So I'll just label this, you know, bearish OB. And so this doesn't look really like the best right now. I could see it coming up like everything else, but it's not like super good in my opinion. It's not the best type of chart out there, because yeah, we have this and it'll probably come up, tag this support, excuse me, tag this diagonal and horizontal resistance, which is also the bearish order block. I think that I would say that this right here would be a decent shorting opportunity if it does come up here to put on a short, something like this. And that's what I would say for Matic, is that this is a pretty decent shorting opportunity. The only thing that I'm scared of shorting is like if everything just goes haywire and everything goes up, then you can't really short it because everything goes up, you know. And the reason everything goes up is because everything is connected to one another, and everyone has bots running, or the big institutions have bots running. So if one thing goes up, then everything else goes up because their bots are all connected. So I don't know if I would really want to short Matic, but I would rather, you know, if it hits here, go into something else. So that's Matic against USDT. And then we also have Matic against Bitcoin. And I want to look at Matic against Bitcoin. So where are we here? Well, we have this bottom. Okay. This was the bottom. And okay, we came in, we tagged the bottom once against BTC. Okay, if I extend this out, okay, no, this did not tap it. So I'm thinking for Matic, this is probably the area where I would want to try to go in, if it's because this is 78.6, or even honestly all the way down here. Like Matic had such a good run all the way up while a lot of coins didn't. Like Matic basically outperformed Bitcoin since June of 2022. It's been outperforming Bitcoin. So if you've been holding Matic, you've been doing absolutely phenomenal, right? But now it's not, obviously it's in a lot of trouble right now. And I don't know if I would necessarily want to be going in to Matic, like I mentioned on the USDT pair also, is that I just see other opportunities that are better. I mean, even the last one that we just went through, HBAR, is a better play than Matic. So yeah, I'm going to wait on Matic. Also, the next one we have coming up is Optimus OP. And I like OP better than Matic as a layer 2 solution anyway. So I'd rather go into something like that just as a fundamental play too. If Matic comes down here, which is it's a long way to go, another 65% drop from where it is now, then I'd get into it. But let's see what we got on the daily chart. So on the daily chart, yeah, I think if we come down into here, that would be pretty good. Let me just check this weekly one more time. So this right here is the weekly bullish order block, so we'll see that. Okay. And then this is the liquidity zone, and then down here is the 78.6, which is also, you know, an area that had some type of reaction from. So yeah, I would say, oh yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like just how, where is it? Just how we had this support and then it broke down beneath the support and soaked up all the liquidity before jumping up. I think we have this now. We have this support and it's going to drop down below this support again, soak up the liquidity, hit the 78.6, and then move up. All right, so that was Matic. Now let's go to OP, one I really, really like. So for OP, what I see on OP is that we had this huge, this huge diagonal support line, which was an amazing, I'm so pissed because I waited from like literally all the way up here to all the way down here to finally long, and then I longed OP right here, and then boom, we had that, huge crash in ALTS, which was so annoying. And so I ended up selling on the way up for like, I bought more down here, but then I sold it like right here, and then I sold the rest for a loss. Like obviously now I know I should have just held on, but regardless, we are at a very, very pivotal level for OP because obviously we're at this huge diagonal resistance level, but we closed above it very easily, and then we retraced back into it, and now we're back below it. But we're also in the zone. We're basically, this is a zone. We're at the same zone where I wanted to get into before. Except now, we are in that zone after coming up and making a huge move up, which seems to be more bullish than bearish. So I'm looking at OP, and obviously I have a very bullish bias. And so I sort of want to just get in right now. I did buy some. Yes, I did buy OP right here again for my long-term investment portfolio. I want to just hold on to it for the whole until next cycle. I don't want to mess around with it. Even if we drop another, let's see, another 50% from here, I do not care. I will continue to hold more. And if we do drop all the way back down here, then to 50 cents, then I'm going to double my position if I can. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to have any money by then, but if that happens. But I do want to have it for my long-term portfolio because it's just such a good coin. Coinbase has it, and now Binance has it, and they're both using it. Obviously, BlackRock is using Coinbase for their, what do you call it, for their ETF. So if eventually maybe they'll have something where they put OP into something that they do as well, and who knows. So yeah, I'm looking at this. This is the classic Bart move, classic Bart Simpson move right here, except it's the move down and then followed by the move up. Actually, yeah, I guess that's what this was right here. Move down, followed by a move sideways, followed by a move up, followed by just a crash back down. But now we had the move down, followed by the move up sideways. Now things are looking bullish. Up here, things were looking crazy bearish. Now things are looking super bullish. So I think this is going to perform similar to Bitcoin and Ethereum, go sideways for a little bit and then shoot up. That's what I'm thinking OP is going to do. I don't think it's going to come down and we're going to get this amazing entry down here, which is what I would want. I don't think that's going to happen. So what I would do is go down into the lower time frames, and I don't like these candles, but I don't think you could really, I mean, it's difficult. It's definitely difficult. I would say that if we come up here on the 12-hour, what I would do, honestly, what I would probably, actually, I don't know. I hate doing this. I was going to say put a stop buy order right here, because this is a bearish candle in this zone that could be bullish because it's above the support, the horizontal, but it could also be bearish because it's, at the diagonal resistance. And so this is a bearish candlestick. We do have a RSI that is going down. We do have a MACD that's going down. So it, technically speaking, from a technical perspective, looks like it wants to go down. But from a instinctual perspective, I see something like that happening for OP, similar to the other ones. So I think that honestly, I think that putting a market buy right here, stop buy right here, would be really good, with a stop right here with a target. Let's check out the higher time frames. T1 right here. T2 would be, say, right here. Actually, how does this look right here? Probably right here. T2 would be right here. And then if we're going to have this bull market, thanks to the dominance levels, if Bitcoin dominance is going to fall down at the 50%, then alts are going to fly. And if they fly, then OP is going to be doing pretty well. It could hit here. Could see it hitting here. So we have this, 1, 2, 3. I think this would be the play for OP, would be coming back up here. Okay, so yeah, I finally got it all charted out. So this right here, this right here is a very, very key zone for OP. And I think that if the price does shoot back up and it comes up here, that I'm going to put in a buy order for OP right here. I'll put my stop loss down underneath this wick. And I think that, you know, it'll do something like this where let's say it goes like this for a little bit and then it comes up. I'll instantly buy it. And then my stop loss will be down here. So if it does end up coming back down, then, you know, I'll just get out of it. But I think that what's going to happen is it's going to do something like this and then eventually, you know, make its way up here and then eventually make its way back up all the way up to here as well. And then the other thing is that if it comes up and it closes, say it closes right here. So that's a close underneath my my stop buy. Then maybe I'll just buy it right there and I'll have my stop right there. If I could, you know, see what actually happened, if I could see that actually happened. But yeah, that's going to be my play for OP. Now, looking at OP against Bitcoin, this is one that has some potential. So we did come down into the weekly order block and we got a nice reaction from it. So first, you know, we came down into it, tagged it, and then we got this somewhat bullish candle on the weekly time frame, followed by a little bit of a move up. Also, on the daily time frame, we did actually break through this diagonal resistance area. So we broke through it and now we're coming back down and retesting. So honestly, for OP against Bitcoin, this would be the play. I'd be stacking in to OP right now with and you could just put a stop underneath there. It really shouldn't come back down underneath here. And then I'd probably target up here to get a solid 42% against BTC. Yeah, that would be my play for OP against Bitcoin. Granted that this is the bottom, and yeah, I think that looks pretty good. If you wanted to, you could bring this down here and, you know, have this be right here, but I would probably just, you know, put it right there and have this be my entry, you know, trigger. Pretty much where we are right now. So yeah, that's OP against BTC. Next up, let's go into Quant. Obviously, that's, you know, this is my favorite altcoin there is. I just think that I love the fundamentals. I love everything about it. So if we plot this out, this is clearly a big support zone on the weekly time frame. As you could see, we had lots of bounces off of it. So what I would do is, you know, wait for the price to come down in here, and then once I start to see maybe on the daily time frame some type of bullish market structure or some type of bullish candlestick formation or, you know, anything like that, then I would want to get in. So I see this right now. I like it. I'm a buyer of Quant Network. I bought it right now. I bought it all around here. I think it's a good price and I think it's valuable. So what we had was, where is it? This thing right here. We had this, it was going down, 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 down. Finally, we were able to break above it, come back, retest, followed by another, you know, move up, followed by another retest. So it's literally been ranging back and forth, and it's been in this really very tight range for quite a while now, for at least it's April, at least a month, right? So we've just been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And we are at this, we have established that there's this between $97 and $118, this range going on. But for me, Quant is something that I just buy and I like to hold on to. Looking at the weekly time frame, this is actually like very difficult to put on any type of, like, I don't know. We had the break up, cool. We had the retest, great. Then we had this indecision type of candle, somewhat bullish candle, followed by the move up. So yeah, it is looking bullish. It's at the support. We're getting nice reactions here. The RSI has ticked up, which is nice to see as well. The MACD on the weekly is moving up as well, going down, back down to the daily. It's up, it's down, it's up. Trying to see what happened here. Well, this was the down move before the up move that broke the market structure right there. So the price came down, tagged it. So it tagged the bullish order block, and now it's on its way back up. And we did just close above, or we're about to close above here the next hour and a half. So this would be the next bullish order block would be right there. Let's go down to the 12-hour. And if you want to get a little bit more precise, this would be the next, where is it? The next bullish OB. So I would think that the price would probably close up here, come back down, tag here, do something like this, and then move up and probably hit here first before doing, moving down, moving up, and then hitting 118 second. 118 has been a real pain in the ass, to be honest. I had my sell orders for 120 and it just missed it. So when I originally bought here, sold here, or I was buying, and then I don't know. I got fudded out on my trading when it came to, not fudded out, but I got stopped out for this one on my trading account, which is super annoying. But in my investment account, obviously I'm still holding it. And I'm still up on that, so that's good. But yeah, this would be what I would think would happen for quant, because it is making higher lows, low, higher low, higher low. So maybe it'll come down, make another higher low, and then continue on its way up. It's still in this really good support zone, so this is actually a really solid trade. I would probably put it on, and I would have it be like this. This would be. Yeah, this would be it. This would be the trade. And I would take my first profit here, and I would bring my stop to break even once it hits there. So yeah, this is my trade setup for quant. Now, when it comes to quant against Bitcoin, I'm pretty much just stacking in because I don't know when it's going to turn around again, but I do believe that it will eventually turn around again, and then I'll try to sell it right here. Quants had an amazing run against Bitcoin in 2022. I wish I just threw everything into quants and sold it once it reached the highs. Sort of annoyed that I didn't do that, but whatever, I have enough. So this is the down move. This is obviously right here. This whole area is big support right here. And once we did come back up and we reclaimed this level, I'd say right here, this candle is the candle that reclaimed it. We had a little bit of a move down, but then we just were off to the races. So I think that this whole area right here is the ideal buy zone, and I would really like it to come down and tag it first, and then I would get in down here, especially in the weekly bullish order block. That would be amazing. But is that going to happen? I'm not 100% sure. So going down onto the lower time frames, we do have a bullish looking RSI, bullish looking stochastic RSI. Somewhat, if this does tick up, then that would be bullish. And we did actually also come underneath this major support. So if this acts like anything else, we have a move into liquidity, and then a move up. If this does come back up here against Bitcoin, then I would want to get in. So that's going to be my play for Bitcoin or for quant, is that if it comes back above here, then I'll long it. And I realize that this video is almost an hour long, so this is going to be my last one. But talking about reclaim plays, check out Link against USD. So I said if we reclaim this, long the F out of Link. So I am entering into a long for Link, not right now, but on hopefully on a retrace if we get one. So going down into the lower time frames, we can see that this was a major support area. So we came down, tagged the support right here, right? And then we had tons of wicks into it. And then we had another very bullish candle right into it. And then we had this deviation below it, followed by a reclaim and a move up, followed by, you know, a move all the way back down, and then we crashed underneath of it. So I wanted us to reclaim it. So we got to it. We got very close to it. And then we had this bearish candlestick here, and then we finally today have reclaimed it. So now that we reclaimed it, I want to get in. And where am I going to get in? Well, I have my orders in a little bit lower than where we are now, but technically speaking, this would be where you would want to get in, somewhere like 5.95 or something like that. So let's go down to the 12-hour time frame. If this closes up here, which we have one more hour, so I don't know if it will, but if it does, then this will be a bullish breaker. If it doesn't, then this right here is the bullish order block. So this is what I'm going to do right here. This is the bullish order block. It's within the big support zone. So I want to take this. I want to long right here, and then, you know, shoot literally for, honestly, yeah, up here, I'd say 8.223. So let me just do this. Boom. And I'll say, where's my little, here we go, 8.223 target. Yeah. And that's going to be my play for Link. So what I'll do is I'll add a little bit. I'll add some right here, and then I'll add some more right there. And then my first TP would be, let's go back to the daily time frame, or actually let's go to the weekly time frame. Yeah, no, I really don't have a first TP. I guess right in the middle, the 50%. This is where I would say TP1, bring stop loss to break even. That's what I would do. So yeah, this is my play for Link, is that I'm going to buy right here, and then I'm going to stack more in down here. The stop could go down here, so I'll put the actual, you know, I'll put the actual thing on for it. This would be the play, something like this. And yeah, so that's gonna be I freaking wish that it came down here. Anyway, that's gonna be it for Link. And then Link against Bitcoin. Link against Bitcoin is really, it's not as good as it was for Link against USD, but this weekly candle, there's 2 more days, so we have 2 more days to see what this weekly candle does, but it's looking freaking bullish. Like, if this happens, then you have to buy it here, and the stop goes down here, and that has to be the play because it hit the bullish weekly order block, and then it formed this weekly hammer candle, and we had this weekly long wick candle as well the week right before this. So there's 2 more days. We'll see what happens at the end of the week. We'll see what happens Sunday night at 8:00 p.m. That's what I'm going to be making sure that how this candle closed, it looks good. And if it looks good, then I might have to convert my Bitcoin to Link and buy it right here and target the highs. Target probably up here, because if Bitcoin if Link against USDT is going to target the highs, then maybe Bitcoin against BTC will come up, reclaim the range, and then once it does that, then, you know, target the range highs. Anyway, so that's being very optimistic. We'll see what happens with Link, but Link is looking awfully good right now, and so this is definitely one to keep an eye on. I'm going to put alerts in. I'm going to see, definitely going to put alerts in. Also on the daily time frame, we have, where is it? We have this right here. So if it closes above, I don't want to say if it closes above there on the daily time frame, then I think because I just think it will. I'd rather just use the weekly and then just, you know, at the end of this week, buy it at the end of this week, unless this candle comes all the way back down here. Then I would wait to buy. But if this candle closes anywhere up here, then I'll buy. Okay, so that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to get to the rest of them tomorrow, and then, or maybe on Sunday, and then I'll upload it then. But yeah, so far we went through Link, Quant, OP, Matic, HBAR, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. And then the next one, I'll go through KDA, VRA, Rune, Reindeer, Apts, CAS, BNB, Pepe, and a few other ones. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Please like this video if you haven't already. And yeah, hope to see you soon.